लगता है रिकॉर्ड में जाना जरूर। कई बार मैंने डिवोटीज को एड्रेस करते देखा है, somebody is a name, से फॉर एग्जांपल माय नेम, ठीक है ना, मैं अपना नाम इस्तेमाल कर लेता हूँ, सबसे आसान रहेगा। लाइक मेरा इनिशिएटेड नेम है बिमला प्रसाद दास, जो मेरे को मेरे स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर ने दी है। सो इफ यू आर एड्रेसिंग मी, so you can always address me as Bimla Prasad Das, ठीक है। And if you want to add Prabhu, if you want to add Prabhu just in case, then you remove the Das and replace it with Prabhu, and it becomes like Bimla Prasad Prabhu, ऐसे जिस तरीके से ऐसे आप राम रामी के प्रभु, okay। So it's not like वैसे very राम यज्ञ दास प्रभु बड़ा एक्चुअली, जो लोग समझते हैं वो हंसते हैं, बिकॉज वो बिल्कुल ऑपोजिट है। या तो वो दास है और या वो प्रभु है ना, या वो मालिक है या मालिक, या वो नौकर है। राम यज्ञ राम 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 यज्ञ नौकर मालिक, it doesn't make any sense actually, you see। So या तो राम यज्ञ दास, which is the name given by his spiritual master, or it is your address that yeah, so it's like that, it's like that, it's just like मतलब आपके कानों में ये भी थोड़ा सा महाराज जी से है। हाँ जी, वेलकम महाराज। Hare Krishna. Please accept our humble obeisance, Maharaj. Bless to Prabhupada. All grace to His Holiness Yadunandana Swami Maharaj.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha Vipasindubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for coming punctually. So, okay, we will start with the invocation like we did yesterday. I think we can do that every day, and we can sing the Sanskrit, and then some of you can read the corresponding verses. Is that okay? Yes, good. I need to be empowered to share the screen.
But my bad, Maharaj. My bad, really. Give me a second.
Okay, thank you.
What happened?
Not yet.
Wait.
Not yet.
Yeah, something happened. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Prabhuji, I have made Maharaj.
Yeah, simultaneously this happened. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, good. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Please activate your mic and you can read.
Born in the darkest ignorance, when my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge, I offered my respectful obeisances unto him. When my Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within his material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, gave me the shelter under his lotus feet.
Thank you. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakagana Lalita Shri Vishakambitamscha. Ishwar.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I offer my respectful obeisances into the lotus feet of the spiritual master and into the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances into the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatt, Gopal Bhatt, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna, Chaitanya, and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar, Srivas, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishaka. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Poonam.
Hare Krishna. Oh my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
Thank you. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Lakshmi, you wanted to read?
I offer my respect to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu and you are very dear to Lord Krishna.
Thank you. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Raki?
Hare Krishna. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnavas, devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like Desire's tree, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Kishori?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas, and all others in the line of devotion.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today we will be reading and discussing from the second part of chapter 7, starting with text 15. Daya?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance. Maharaj, I have few questions from yesterday's text. May I?
You can ask, yes. Yes, we can take the questions first. That's good.
Okay. Maharaj, I have three questions, so I can ask. Maharaj,
Yes.
first question is in text 7.5 purport, there it is written as living entity forget his spiritual mind and intelligence. So my question is like we have material, yesterday we discussed there are eight and separate energy of Krishna. Five were physical and three were subtle. So out of that subtle, intelligence and mind were two of that. And that were considered as material energy. So my question is, there's also spiritual intelligence and mind. So I'm like, I want to know more about the spiritual mind and spiritual intelligence, how that are different from material.
Yes, the spiritual mind and spiritual intelligence are actually non-different from the soul. In the material in material existence, there is a difference between the self, the eternal soul, and the coverings of the soul with the different elements. But in the spiritual body, there is no difference between the self and the body or the mind or the intelligence. Everything is completely integrated. Therefore, it is used, the expression Krishna used was, these 8 are my separated material energies. Because in material existence, the real self and what appears to be the self is, we could say, yeah, it is separated, or it is, we could say, disintegrated. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, what I get is that within soul everything is considered intelligence and mind. There's no any difference.
Yeah, the self, it's integrated.
Okay.
Everything is in the eternal soul, eternal self.
Okay. So my
The present mind, intelligence, and senses are actually superimposed, are not real senses. Are real in the sense that it is Krishna's energy, but are not real in the sense that it's like sleeping. When we sleep, we dream, and we're experiencing what's happening in the dream. But then when we wake up, we realize, oh, it was just a dream. So this is something like that. Material existence is like a dream for the eternal soul.
Okay, got it. Maharaji, my other question is like it is written that I haven't written the text number, but it was written, I have read that living entity exploiting material energy. So like we are being in control of 3 modes of nature. How we are exploiting this energy? We ourselves are in control of material energy.
Yes, you are right. Yes, you can say the material energy is exploiting us. That's what.
Yes, in this is what came in my mind.
But we do try in the illusion of, like, the Maya provoked by the modes of material nature, especially passion and ignorance. We think we try to exploit. We for whatever we do, then we have to pay a reaction. Like, say, for instance, if a person tries to take more than due from cultivating the land and puts chemicals which are not good for the soil, then there will be a reaction. There will be a biological reaction on the soil, like gradually it becomes deteriorated by such artificial exploitation with undue chemicals. But then we won't be able to get as good products as before because of the artificial trying to attempt to exploit the soil. So similarly, if we try to exploit in whatever shape material nature, we have to pay karmic reaction for it. Say, for instance, sometimes there are adult people who mistreat, say, for instance, children. Sometimes happens. If an adult mistreats children in any way, we'll have to get karmic reaction for that. So like that, and the term exploitation is very much used in contemporary society. I don't know how it is in Pakistan, but here in the West, people say like agricultural exploitation and like also cattle exploitation. Do you use that term in Pakistan?
Yes, Maharaji, I have read in books, but otherwise
Yeah,
we have Urdu language.
it's a conventional expression which indicates, which confirms in a practical way what we are learning, that we people, we conditioned souls, have the tendency to exploit material nature. Of course, then we are, as you mentioned in the beginning, we have to pay ourselves, and we could say we try to exploit, but then we are exploited.
Hmm.
You may have seen sometimes there are some on internet, sometimes they put some videos about instant karma. Have you seen any of those?
No.
Like somebody tries to do something bad to another person, and then that the person who is trying to do something bad falls with his face on his face, or something happened to that person. Some of you have seen, you are nodding, some of you. So like that, we try to exploit, but then we get the reaction, and we could say, I mean, material nature is not to be blamed for our suffering. Are we the ones who chose to behave in this particular way, trying to exploit, and then we pay for it?
Yet it is not clear, but it's okay.
Not clear? We can discuss more.
Okay.
Who can help from you, from the youth, can help to explain to Doya? Who understands what I'm saying? Nobody?
I think Shobha has a hand up.
Yes,
Shobha
Bhima
has a
Prasad,
hand up.
you want to
No,
contribute to
I
that?
thought Shobha has a hand up. The
Uh,
concept of instant karma, I'm just thinking like, why not? Concept of instant karma is very easy for girls to understand. A boy comes and misbehaves, try to put a hand on you. What are you gonna do? Slap him, right? That's called instant karma.
Good. Instant karma, yes.
Yeah, that's an instant karma.
But what Daya was said for her is not clear. What is it? It is exactly, it is not clear for you, Daya.
Sorry, Mataji. Prabhuji, I haven't got.
You forgot? You forgot about, the question was about exploitation, and I was explaining, and
Maharaji, I got understand, but it is like I'm not yet satisfied that how we are exploiting material. Yes, I understand that there are so many things which we should not do because of that material natural sources are being exploited by us, by human being. That makes sense. But in if we see that we are also being in under control of three modes of nature, that thing is not being clear to me.
yes, exploit. We try to exploit because we try to take more than is due from material nature. Instead
So,
of taking care of material nature, we try to get things for our sense enjoyment, more than due.
okay,
And then we get the reaction. You can say, why don't we blame the modes of material nature? That's what will you say.
yes,
It will be, you will say, why I'm being blamed of being exploiting when the modes of material nature
are
are.
controlling me.
But remember, who remembers yesterday I gave an example of the fun park? Who remembers?
I remember the wheel in which we
I
are
remember. Yes, sir.
being revolving.
So anyone can illustrate what was the meaning of that example?
Yes, Maharaj, I can.
Yes, please.
You were explaining that when we go to the fun park there, and you also gave the example of those rides, and you said that we are sitting on that ride. This is our choice, and we got like we are feeling dizzy. So this is our choice. So that's why we are we this is our free will that we are going to sit on the ride. But that ride is what represents the modes of material natures.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
So we cannot blame the mods because we chose on the first place to be in control under the mods.
Okay. Yes, it is clear.
Clear now? Okay, good.
Maharaji, I have another question. May I?
Okay.
Okay. Maharaji, in text 7.14, it is like a divine energy of mind as said in text consists of three. Like Krishna is saying divine and three modes are also being considered as divine energy, right? And Prabhupada has explained so well in Purport I have read that everything is here, it is three modes are being said as divine energy because of the connection of Krishna. Because there is a connection of Krishna with three modes, that is why Krishna is saying divine energy. So my question is, in every, like we see in everything there is a connection of Krishna. So can we say everything is divine?
Yes, that's correct. Everything is divine. Only when we are conditioned, we don't see it because we are in delusion. So because we are deluded, then we don't see that everything is divine. We forget Krishna, so we don't see the connection that everything has with Krishna. You may remember from yesterday also, Krishna was saying, I'm the tasting in water, I'm the sunlight and the moonlight, I'm the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire, and so on. So everything is divine. Krishna is present everywhere, and his energies are divine because they are Krishna's.
Okay, so like we used to say that this is material, this is spiritual. Then material is also the thing on which we are like we are saying that this is material, this is spiritual. So material are also divine. So these are also so it is a fault of our consciousness that we don't remember and we don't like understand thing and look at the thing as divine. That's because of our fault.
Yes, from Krishna's viewpoint, everything is his energy. There is no difference. Srila Prabhupada has given the example of electricity. Electricity can be used for heating or for cooling. So from Krishna's viewpoint, his energy is his energy. Is even though it may manifest in many different varieties, the Upanishads state, Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate, that there are multiple varieties of Krishna's energies, but from Krishna's viewpoint, that's his energy. It's like electricity for the expert professional who manages electricity. So but the same energy can be used for two different purposes, for heating and for cooling. So in this way, then we talk about the spiritual or material. Heating can be compared to bringing the souls closer to Krishna. Cooling can be understood as pushing them further and distant from Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Maharaji.
Shobha?
Hare Krishna Maharaji, Dandavat Pranam. Maharaji, as in Bhagavatam, it is written that speed of mind is equals to the, or we can say is greater than the speed of light. Then what is speed when this body, when the soul leaves the material body, and the soul travels to the Bhagavad Dham, with what speed? Is that the is that speed is also equals to speed of light, or is it more than this?
You mean the change of body? What the speed takes in? Are you referring to the change of body?
Yes, when soul leaves the body and travels to the Bhagavad Dham in the lotus feet of Krishna.
I didn't hear. I only hear the lotus feet of Krishna. Didn't hear what you said before.
She's asking Maharaj, what is the speed like by which a soul leaves from the material planet and goes to Golok Vrindavan?
Oh, back to Godhead. Yes,
Yeah.
no problem. That's immediately. That's immediately. Because the limitations of time and space happen only in the world of Maya. But when somebody gets Krishna's full mercy and goes back to Godhead, then there is no limitation, no speed problem, no obstacles. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we will study next week in chapter 8, Anta kale chamam eva smaram mukva kalevaram yaprayati samat bhavam yati nasti atra samshayaha. Krishna says that if someone remembers me at the time of death, immediately attains my nature. And Krishna says there is no doubt about that.
Thank you, Maharaj.
So we can go very fast. If we get Krishna's mercy, we can go very fast back home, back to Godhead. But we need to get the mercy of Krishna and his pure devotees. Then we can go.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, let's. Any other questions about yesterday's section? Okay, so we move for today's section. One second, and share the screen. Okay, so this is it's a summary of the chapter, so we see better where we are at. So yesterday we did up to verse 14. In the first 7 verses, we heard how to connect with Krishna in Bhakti Yoga by hearing first Krishna tells Arjuna, just hear how by what you have to do to have your mind attached to me, and then you will be able to attain the perfection of yoga, which was described in the last verse of chapter 6, as we discussed yesterday. Then Krishna starts explaining how to do it by seeing Krishna's presence in everything, in the water, in the sunlight, moonlight, sound, and so on. And also to appreciate his energies, which can be divided from our point of view, because we are conditioned, can be divided into material and spiritual. But we can see Krishna in all these energies, particularly in the material energies we are perceiving. We will go deeper into that when we reach chapter 10. So then from verses 8 to 14, we discussed yesterday how Krishna is the essence of everything, and only Maya, the modes of material nature, impede us to see. And then Krishna also said that it is very difficult to overcome the influence of the modes of nature. But if we surrender unto Him, then we can very quickly, very easily, we can overcome the influence of Maya. So today we start from that point, and Krishna starts explaining how there are different types of people who never surrender unto Krishna, and therefore they will not become free from Maya, and how there are also 4 groups of people who do surrender to Krishna. We are going to look into this very soon, and also an example of those who don't surrender to Krishna. Who are the worshippers of the devas. In one way, they are coming gradually to Krishna, but they are deluded, and they will be example of people who are not directly surrendering unto Krishna. They are trying to approach God, but they do it without understanding. They don't understand who is God and what are his transcendental qualities. And therefore they approach the devas because they are interested only in material results. And then in the last part of the chapter, also Krishna refers to the impersonalist, or those who practice some type of spiritual discipline, but who are more or less atheistic, or negate the personal form of God, how Krishna, how God can relate in a very personal way with each and every devotee who approaches him. And then the chapter ends referring to those who have accumulated pious acts in this life and in previous lifetimes, and who are able to surrender with determination. Then the last 2 verses of the chapter refer to some universal principles that we will be studying in the beginning of chapter 8. This will be the link between chapter 7 and chapter 8. What Krishna explains at the end of the chapter about those personalities who become transcendental and who are able to not be affected by the material manifestations of Krishna's energies. So let's do the reading from verses 15 to 23 translations. Whoever likes to read, please read from 15 to 23. Kishori.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. 15. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the aesthetic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Text 16. O best among the Bharatas, 4 times of fierce men begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the absolute. Text 17. Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. Text 18. All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me I consider to be just like my own self. being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal. Test 19. After many births and many deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes, and all that is such a great soul is very rare. Test 20. Those, those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. 21. I am in everyone's heart as a super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make this faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. 22. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtain his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. 23. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigod go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet.
Thank you. So, okay, let's look a little bit one chart. These are the summary of verses 15 and 16. So there are 4 types of persons who surrender unto Krishna. First, Krishna describes those who don't surrender, but they put on the top those who surrender because they are better. They should be on the top. Shouldn't be, even if they are very humble, but we should put them on the top. So those who surrender to Krishna, there are 4 groups. They are called in Sanskrit Sukritina. This is in relation to Sukriti. Sukriti means pious activity. Kriti means action, to do, and Sukriti, it means like it is well done. Sukritina, a person who does well. And those who do not surrender to Krishna, they are called Dushkritina. They are doing bad behavior, even though from the material viewpoint, it may look they are doing okay, they are doing well, they may be earning lots of money. Like yesterday we saw a picture of some of the big businessmen, very wealthy people around the world, like Mr. Bill Gates and some people like that. And we were remembering that their prowess comes from Krishna. It's not to their credit, but it's Krishna is giving them that through material nature is giving them material success. So, but dushkritina, dush means bad. It is done materially, maybe okay, but then because it is misused, then it is problematic, both for themselves and for people surrounding them. It's like, for instance, a knife can be used for cutting vegetables in the kitchen and prepare some nice sabji to offer to Krishna. Or the same knife can be used to hurt somebody. Like a thief may misuse the knife, the kitchen knife, to make other people scared and steal from them. So it is the same knife, but it's a different way of using. So those who are pious, Sukritina, they approach Krishna, and those who are impious, Dushkritina, they never surrender to Krishna. They always will search for something else. So let's let's look from down up, following Krishna's order in explaining it. So there are 4 groups of Dushkritina. You can see in the picture. Can you recognize who is who? From the 4 fellows in the picture and the 4 types of Dushkritina mentioned. Did you do your reading? Are you okay
Yes.
with your reading?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, good. So
To these pictures, the 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 one who have wear the blue color dress, dark blue, they are representing the Dushkritina part, and the one who is praying to Krishna, they are like Sukritina.
yes,
Am
okay,
I?
but no, okay, maybe we should first discuss the 4 types, and then we can try to determine who the artist was representing in each particular case. So, like, we have the hardworking gross materialist, like an animal, compared to an ass, Muddha. I think that's pretty clear in the. So these are basically are people who are only interested in enjoying the senses in very basic ways, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. They just want to earn money for that, and they work very hard, and they don't have any other purpose in life. They're just working and trying to enjoy a little bit the senses. So this is compared to this will be one type, Muddha, a foolish person who does not see beyond what is apparent in front of his eyes. Then the second type, who can remember? You can explain, like the Naradama, who can explain Naradama based on what you read in Srila Prabhupada's purpose? Yes, Daya?
Maharaji, as I read, these are the Naradhama, are the one who are very intelligent, but they follow they are very civilized, follow rules and regulation of citizen, and they remain like they are educated people. But when it come to believe in God, they don't believe in God. They are godless. Like they do everything, but they are not aware for whom they are doing it.
Good, very good. Yes. Srila Prabhupada also points out that they could also maybe even say they believe in God, but they are not really committed. They may take God only for social convenience. Some people they go to religious ceremonies, but just they are not interested in God. They just do it out of social convenience. So they are accepted in society, or they can make more money or whatever. But they are not really serious about God. Okay, good. Thank you. And the third group, Mayaya Parita Jnana, those whose knowledge has been stolen by Maya, the illusory energy of Krishna. So, yes, can you say something about this type of people? Anyone else likes to explain a little bit who are these people and what do they do? Besides, yes, and it's good. Doi is very enthusiastic, asking and contributing, but also others should also join in. Krishna Priya Mataji,
Mahaji, they are like their knowledge is like being stolen by, like they are so much, they only know about material things and their knowledge is devoted to material energy, but they don't know anything about spirituality. Like the example which Prabhupada gives, we can say the philosophers, the poets. So these are kind of
Okay, good, thank you. Philosophers, poets, scientists, like the other different people, thinkers, and like they come up with ideas about life and so on. Good, thank you. And then the last group, the professed atheist, Asuram Bhavam Ashrita, those who take shelter in the nature, demoniac nature. And Srila Prabhupada explains in many parts of his books that when someone accepts the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then that person can be considered a demigod. And when someone is denying the supremacy of God, that can be considered a demon. That's a very general statement, but we find such statements in scripture. So we'll be like here, Dushkritina, those who do not surrender, and Sukritina, those who surrender. Demoniac, and like demigods, or moving towards that level of consciousness. Any questions on the 4 types of people who do not surrender to Krishna? Okay, so now we look into the 4 types of people who surrender unto Krishna. Yes, Barka?
Hey, Krishna. I wanted to ask, like, the last professed atheist, how is it different from the scientist one? Because atheists are like, they don't want to believe that there is God. They don't want to believe the supremacy of the Supreme Personality. Same goes with the philosophers, because they give the mundane philosophies that, okay, God is not there, there are different energies and this and that. So, what is the difference between these two?
Yes, one factor to consider is that there may be overlapping between the categories. So these are not watertight groups, that they're separated. Someone can belong to more than one group. Somebody can be a Naradama, like Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that 99.9% are Naradamas. So, but they may also be in some other category. They may be Naradama, and also maybe a direct atheist, or maybe an impersonalist. Like some of the difference between the, going to your question, between those deluded speculators and the professed atheists. Speculators maybe just speaking is what Srila Prabhupada calls sometimes, I think you studied in maybe in chapter 3, armchair philosopher. Remember that expression? Armchair philosopher. I don't know in Pakistan how that's, because maybe the context is different, how that will be. But I can give you an example of Madrid. In the capital of Spain, there was one devotee who was president of ISKCON Madrid like 30 years ago, very good devotee. His name is Bhakti Gyan Prabhu. He used to go and preach. There was one cafe. Do you have cafes in Pakistan? Or that, you know, cafe?
Okay.
You have that? I don't know. I don't know what's in, you have places where people go and sit and they drink coffee or tea, and like a restaurant, they sit. Sometimes in the cities you will have nicely arranged. In the villages it will be very, very simple, like in India, or I like that. But so there was this sophisticated cafe, and people will go there and take their coffee or tea or whatever they will drink, and then they will have some discussions, philosophical discussions on different topics, social topics, philosophical topics, uh, problems that they're political problems, and so on. And then Bhaktiyan Prabhu used to go to that place, and sometimes he will speak on Krishna consciousness, on Vedic philosophy. But the majority of people in that place, they were armchair philosophers. So that means people who just talk but do nothing. They just sit there, they're drinking their coffee, and they're speaking big philosophy, but when it comes to commit to seriously to something, they are not interested. So the third group could be like that, this more speculators type of people. Whereas the last group, they are directly against God, and they deny God. God does not exist, and they are even activists in negating the existence of God. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Good. Doya?
Maharaji, I have a question. In text 7.15, the section of Dushkrita, like second class of man, in which there is a written, three line is written, the 10 process of reformatory ceremonies. As in John in the Manu Smriti, which is guided to religious principle, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varna Ashram. So, what are those 10 process to revive the God consciousness?
1 second, I'm looking. You said in purport to text 15?
Yes, in second class.
In the second paragraph?
Yes, in second paragraph, it is a duty of in that the 10 process of.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it so I can be precise there. Oh, in the second group, you mean? Yes.
In second group, second paragraph.
Okay, I got it. Yes, it is a duty of the guardians of children to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them. The 10 processes of reformatory ceremonies, as enjoined in the Manu Smriti, which is the guide to religious principles, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varnashram. Yes, this refers, of course, now in Kali Yuga, we may do it in a format adapted to the people of the age of Kali. This is what it is called in Sanskrit, samskaras. These are the reformatory processes. And there is one of such is before the husband and wife, they conceive a child, they follow such, it is what it is called Garbhadana Samskara ceremony. So it's a ceremony, and Srila Prabhupada said for devotees, for his followers, they should chant 50 rounds before conception. In these ways, this will call a very advanced soul to the womb of the mother. So there are different reformatory processes, like the giving of the name for the child, and all this culminates into initiation. Marriage is also one of those reformatory processes. And there is one book by one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. The book is entitled Satkriya Saradipika. And in this book, all these reformatory processes are described for Vaishnavas. So So that, yeah, the idea is that that normally religious people will follow those instructions found in Shastra, but Prabhupada says that nowadays almost nobody follows that. Does that answer the question?
Yes, Maharaj, it is quite. But I want to know what are the 10 that why it is written as 10. One of
Why there
them,
are,
one of them, you have said that before child go through the garbud or something that. What are the other 9?
yeah, I don't remember all them by heart. The last one is called Antiesti when one dies, and the funerary ceremonies. So there are 10 different. Marriage is a very important one of them as well.
Okay,
Name
Maharaj ji,
giving.
in other yugas, people used to do that.
Excuse me?
In other yugas like Dwapar or in Satyuga, uh, these 10 ceremonies were like in practice or not?
Yes, yes, of course, of course. Only in Kali Yuga everything deteriorates. In
There's
previous
no possibilities in Kali
previous
Yuga.
yugas, in previous yugas, especially Dwapara, and Treta Yuga, yes, that was very natural. In Satya Yuga, the people were so advanced they may not needed to do so much. They were already very pure. Mm, But yes, in times of yore, this was followed, all these Varnashrama principles.
Okay, thank you.
So then the 4 types of pious people who approach Krishna, Krishna said, Srila Prabhupada says, that if someone is not pious, will tend to find a solution without God. But those who are pious, they take shelter of God. So these are the 4 groups. Those who are afflicted, who are distressed by the problems of life, artha. So those people, they are in trouble, so they approach God. The example is given, you have it in the book. Gajendra the elephant, the king of the elephants, who was in trouble, and he's such an example. He took shelter of the Lord by remembering a prayer from his previous life. Sometimes they say elephants, they have very good memory. I didn't do a study of, I studied the elephants, but here in Spain we say when somebody has a good memory, we say he has a memory like an elephant. And I don't know if you say it in Pakistan. So I don't know if it is coming from Gajendra's Lila, but the fact is that Gajendra was able to remember a verse he had learned in a previous lifetime. And he was able to call for the help of the Lord, and the Lord gave shelter to him, saved him actually. Then there are those who have material desires, who want money or whatever material things they want. Artha arti, so only interested in superficial material things, but they're pious and they approach God. God, please help me to make good business. That's very typical in India. I think the Sindhi community also do that, isn't it? They also they worship. They, in Pakistan, do they worship Julelal? You have Julelal worship. Yes, it's here in Madrid. There is one Julelal Mandir. The Sindhis have. So like that, but But in this case, they are wiser than those who approach Julelal, as we will see later when we discuss about worshipping of demigods, because they approach Krishna. Those who are Sukritina, they go directly to Krishna to ask for help. So they may offer incense and flowers to Krishna in their altar. And they may be expecting to get some money in exchange and so on. And the example of this, do you remember who is the example of this in the Bhagavatam? You want to say?
Maharaj.
Maharaj, yes, very good. He was very ambitious. He wanted to get a kingdom greater than his great-grandfather's kingdom, Lord Brahma. So, yes. And then there are those who are curious or inquisitive, Jignashu, and the example of this, do you remember who is or are the example of this?
Tanaka.
Or Kumaras.
Four Kumaras.
Four Kumaras, not exactly. Four Kumaras are those who will be the next group. The next group will be the four Kumaras. They are Gyanis. They have knowledge already, and then they approach the Lord of Vaikuntha. But before the four Kumaras, it's another group of wise people.
Sages of Naimisharanya forest
Yes.
comes into
Sages
inquiry.
of Namish.
Very good.
Prabhuji,
Sages of Naimisharanya, very good. So these are the four groups of people who approach Krishna. And then Krishna says that in the beginning they may have their selfish desires, but then they become purified. So that's the effect of pure devotional service. I want to check the chat. I think there are some questions there. 1 second. Or comments, whatever you have written. Okay, these are your comments. Parikshit Maharaj, okay. It was the sages of Naimisharanya was the answer of those inquisitive. Although you are right that Parikshit Maharaj, he was asking, but Parikshit Maharaj was a pure devotee. He was very inquisitive, but he was very advanced devotee. He was Mahabhagavata. Krishna Priya.
Krishna Maharaji, Maharaji, I have a question. Here in this purport of text 16, Prabhupada's mentioned that these are not pure devotees because they have some aspirations to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. But we have learned that four Kumaras comes into the category of 12 Mahajanas. And even Srimad Bhagavatam says that we should follow the path given by the Mahajanas. So I want to know, the Mahajanas are not considered pure, or is it like in another way Prabhupada is mentioning this? So I have some confusion in it.
No, the Mahajanas are pure, but this is the Kumaras, the Kumaras after they became pure devotees.
Okay.
So before they were impersonalists, but then they, by smelling the tulsi leaves offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, they became transformed in their bodies and mind. So in this way, this is explained in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. When you finish your Bhakti Shastri study, you can study Bhakti by Baba, and then you can go deeper into that.
Thank you, Maharaji.
It was after all the Mahajanas, they are pure devotees. That's why they are considered Mahajanas.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
They are actually known as, they are the authorities in Bhagavad Dharma. So that's in the Sanatana Dharma of pure devotional service revealed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Dharma. Okay, so any questions on these these 8 groups, the 4 Dushkritina and Sukritina? And then Krishna is saying, among all of them, among those Sukritina who surrender to Krishna, who Krishna considers the best?
The Gyanis.
The Gyanis.
The Gyanis. The Gyanis, because their interest is purer than the others. The others have something more selfish. Of course, Gyanis, also if they're impersonalists, they could be selfish as well and desire liberation from suffering. So in that sense, that's a selfish desire as well. But they approach God in a more, especially those Gyanis who are advanced, like the 4 Kumaras, they approach God with, we could say, a purer or cleaner intention. So they are sincerely searching for God. And then Krishna says there is one verse for memorization. We can look at it. It's text 19. This is to be learned in Sanskrit and English. Maybe some of you like to sing it. I'll sing it once, and then you can sing. Few of you can sing it. Bahunam janmanamante Dhyanavamam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti Samahatma sudurlabhaha. Who likes to sing? 4 or 5 of you.
Yes, may I, Maharaji?
Yes, please.
Yes. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha.
Thank you. Next, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, more devotees singing.
बहूनां जन्मनाम् अन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति सः महात्मासु दुर्लभः.
Very good, thank you. Next.
बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः.
Thank you. Good. Next.
Hare Krishna. Bahunam janmanamante jnanvan mam prapadyante vasudevah sarvamiti samatmasu dullabah.
Thank you. Next. 2 more or 3. I don't want to leave those who are into it to do it. Leave out. Yes, go ahead.
Bahunam janman ante ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वम् इति समात्मासु दुर्लभः.
Thank you. Next.
Hare Krishna. बहूनां जन्मनाम् अन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वम् इति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः.
Thank you. Anyone left who would like
Hare
to?
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudevah sarvam iti samahatma sudurlabha.
Thank you. Very good. Who likes to read the translation?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please. Go
After
ahead.
many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes, and all that is such a great soul is very rare.
Thank you. So it may take different, as mentioned here. Bahunam means many births and death, many lifetimes of cultivating jnana, knowledge, but then it comes to a point where the person realizes that I need to surrender to God. That's the conclusion of all the cultivation of knowledge. Then in verses 20 to 23, Krishna speaks about those who are less intelligent and worship the demigods for attaining material things. Like those who are Sukritina, they approach directly Krishna. If they want money, they go to Krishna. Of course, it's better to approach Krishna selflessly, but those who are less intelligent, the term is used, kamaista style ritakyana prapadyantenya devataha. Those who are less intelligent and the material desires steal their intelligence, they go to the demigods for material benefits, because usually the demigods may be faster in fulfilling material desires, and they may not discriminate if it is good or bad for the person. The demigod may give it, like for instance, there is one case in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's mentioned that there was one demoniac person named Vrika, is Vrikasura. He started to worship Lord Shiva in order to attain some material power. So this fellow was practicing severe penances, and he wanted Lord Shiva to appear in front of him. And when he saw that Lord Shiva would not appear, he was so foolish. He was about to cut his throat. He said, either Lord Shiva appears or I cut my throat. So then Lord Shiva, who is very kind, he's known as Ashutosh, which means that he can be very easily pleased and he can be very easily displeased. So Lord Shiva appeared in front of him and then said, what do you want? Please don't be so extreme. Ask me whatever you want. And then the blessing, the fellow, he was such a bad person, he asked the blessing to be able to, whenever he will touch the head of somebody, the head will explode in 1,000 pieces. So then Lord Shiva gave the blessing because he had promised. He thought this guy is a fool, but still he gave the blessing. And then Vrikasura started to chase Lord Shiva to test if the blessing he had gotten from him was good or not. So he was trying to touch Lord Shiva's head. So much so that Lord Shiva started to run. Of course, Lord Shiva is very powerful. He could have done something, but in this lila, to show that Krishna is supreme, he was running, and then the Lord appeared to him in the form of a brahmana and asked him what was happening. Lord Shiva told him, this fool is chasing me, wants to explain what had happened. I gave him a blessing, and he wants to touch my head. So then the Lord interrupted Vrikasura, stopped him, and said, "Sir, why are you running so anxious?" And then he explained, "I'm going to touch the head of Lord Shiva because he gave me this blessing. I want to test the blessing." And then the Lord, with his Maya energy, his Yoga Maya, he covered the intelligence of Prikasura and told him, "Do you believe what Lord Shiva says? He's cheating you. Just touch your head and we'll see that nothing happens." So the fellow touched his head and his head exploded. That was the end of Prikasura. So anyway, less intelligent people worship the demigods for material purposes, many times very superficial objectives. So therefore, Krishna refers to them as less intelligent. And Krishna also says that he gives the faith to the worshipper to commit to a particular demigod. And also Krishna gives the results. Also Krishna says that ultimately the offerings are meant for me, but it is offered without proper understanding. In the Upanishads, in the Vedas and Upanishads, it is described how the demigods are parts of the universal body of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Yesterday we very briefly talk a little bit about the Vishnus because Srila Prabhupada referred in one of the purpose and you ask about it. So the demigods are considered parts of the Mahapurusha or the great universal person who is an avatara or an incarnation of Krishna.
Translation: Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all your senses in service of one's senses are purified.
What is that?
At the most impression, the most of the Lord sit there in the the Lord and taste the remnants of Lord's food, the tongue become purified, and one gradually comes to understanding who Krishna really is. Anna, text 1.2.255.
What is this? What is that? Anyway, that's okay. Any questions on this, on the demigods?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavad Pranams. Actually, I have a question regarding previous text. I want to ask that Krishna is saying that who has full knowledge, Gyanis, are very dear to me. I want to ask that Gyanis in what sense? Who knows completely the forms and qualities and pastimes of Krishna? I mean, there are some people who are, sorry, who are engaged in service of Krishna, who are engaged in devotional service, but don't have the complete knowledge. So, what about them? Are they dear to Krishna as much as the Gyanis or not?
Yeah, all of them are that's mentioned that all of them are dear, but in the case of those who do it with knowledge, then they become more dear. It's a matter of reciprocation, but all of them are dear. Actually, all living entities are dear to Krishna, so much so that he comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to distribute freely Krishna Prema. So that's because he loves us. Otherwise, Krishna will have not come as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Krishna will not be sending his devotees to spread his call so that we go back to him. So Krishna loves all living entities, but he reciprocates, like you learn in chapter 4, there was the verse, Eya tamam prapadyante, tam stataiva pajamyaham, mama varmanu vartante, manusya partha sarvashaha. Remember that verse? So as they surrender unto me, I reciprocate with all of them. So the more someone approaches Krishna sincerely, the more Krishna reciprocates. But his love is available for everyone. Okay? There is a question on the chat. How material desires mislead the people to worship the demigods instead of Krishna? Yes, because sometimes, like the Srimad Bhagavatam explains that if we worship Krishna for something material and this thing will harm us, then Krishna will not give it at that time. So Krishna, he will think of our ultimate benefit. Like, for instance, a mother will not allow a little child to take a very sharp knife to play with it, because the mother knows the child may harm himself or herself, isn't it? So the mother will not allow. But the demigods do not discriminate. They will give it. You worship, you get it. So those who worship the demigods, they think, oh, I will worship such and such demigod and will get money in a faster way. Of course, Krishna can also give big money if the money will not harm the devotee. But if Krishna sees that the devotee will be harmed, then Krishna will say no or will delay the request of the devotee until the devotee is ready to get it. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Okay, let's move to the, okay, Barka.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. There is this one question that if the goal of a human life is to worship Krishna and to achieve the supreme goal, then why the Vedas they have given us the remedy of like worshipping the demigods, just like it said that for a diseased man you should worship the sun god. Then why the Vedas say that?
Yeah, because in the Vedas we find knowledge about everything, how everything works. So that knowledge is given, and like you will study when you come to chapter 17, that those in the mode of goodness, they worship demigods. Worship of Krishna goes to the level of pure goodness. So it's higher. But some people are not ready to surrender immediately, and the worship of the demigods can be like a stepping stone to acknowledge that there are higher authorities and gradually come to the point of surrendering to Krishna. When the person gets more education, spiritual education, then it is possible to progress more. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you, Maharaj.
And there's another question in the chat. If Krishna is ready to accept us anytime, then what inner impurities make us run away from him? Yeah, ultimately it's our lack of desire to go back to him. We want to be independent and we are trying to imitate him. Sometimes this is described as envy of Krishna. And someone could say, okay, envy is too strong word, but basically we are trying to enjoy the world of Krishna without Krishna, the kingdom of God without God. Does this answer the question? Of course, the impurities may manifest in many other different ways, but this is basically what it is. Good. Okay, so let's read the last part of the chapter, the verses. Whoever likes to read the translations from text 24 up to 30. You can unmute yourself and read. Yes.
An intelligent man who don't know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they don't know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Text 25. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they don't know that I am unborn and unfallible. Text 26. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Text 27. O King of Bharata, O conqueror of the food, all living entities are born into delusion, divided by dualities arising from desire and hate. Text 28. Person who have acted piously in previous life and in this life and whose sinful reactions are completely eradicated are free from the dualities of delusion and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Text 29. Intelligent persons who are enduring preparation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they are entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Text 30. Those in full consciousness of me who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of the death.
Thank you. So, yeah, we find here in verses 24, 25, Krishna is speaking about the impersonalist. How familiar are you with impersonalists? Are you familiar from previous discussions from the first 6 chapters? Anyone likes to share something that you know about impersonalism as opposed to devotees? If somebody will ask you, who are the impersonalists? What would you say? Like somebody could come to you and say, your spiritual master in his commentaries to the Bhagavad Gita writes a lot about impersonalism. What is this about? How would you explain it to them? Shobha?
Maharaji, impersonalist means the Mayavadis, actually.
Yes. Of course, we could say there are two types of impersonalists. Some are maybe Mayavadis, others may not.
Yeah, some are Mayavadis and some are spiritual persons. Maybe the devotees.
Yeah, I mean, some may, like those, some may be, Mayavadi means they deny the form of Krishna. This is coming, there is a slogan, the followers of Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya is known as an incarnation of Lord Shiva. And in the Padma Purana, it is explained that the Lord told Lord Shiva to come and preach Mayavada philosophy. So he was following an instruction, and the reason why is because he was going to reestablish the authority of the Vedas, because for some period, Buddhism was predominating in India, and people will not accept the Vedic scriptures. This is because Lord Buddha had come to protect the animals, because people in the name of the Vedas were killing animals. So then Lord Buddha said, you don't follow the Vedas, just follow me. Because this killing is not good. It's not a good engagement. It's just producing suffering for all the animals, and then you will have to suffer yourself. Just follow me. But then Buddhism spread throughout India, and later on, the Lord sent Lord Shiva as Sri Shankaracharya, a very powerful teacher of the Vedas, but he presented an impersonal interpretation of the Vedas. And his followers, they use sometimes a slogan, I will write it on the chat. They say, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. Have you heard about that? Some of you have heard. So the meaning is, Brahma Satyam means Brahman is the truth. The Jagat, the universe, Mithya is false. And part of their philosophy is that there is only one soul. So there are not many souls. There is only one soul. That soul is God. They call it Brahman, the greatest. And we are that soul. So when we wake up, then we realize that we are God. We are Brahman. And individuality is a product of Maya. So that's their philosophy. So Krishna here is saying he uses the word abhuddhaya. Abhuddhaya means without intelligence or without enlightenment. Buddhi means intelligence or enlightenment. So abhuddhi means without such things. So there are these two verses, 24 and 25, that I'll post them so we can look at them more closely. Krishna is rejecting this type of philosophy. And an intelligent man who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme, that is Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. So they say also that God is impersonal, and then he assumes a personality like also the demigods. So they say it's the same, Krishna and demigods. So again, they mislead people with such teachings. And they say that the form of Krishna is a product of the mode of goodness. But actually, many places in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described that the form of Krishna is made of pure goodness, not just goodness. Pure goodness means completely transcendental. So, due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. And then he says, I hide from them because they are unintelligent, they are foolish, so I will not reveal myself in front of them. Any questions on impersonalism or from your reading from these two purports? Yes, Daya?
Hare Krishna Maharaji. Maharaji, I want to know there's an external energy and internal energy of Krishna. And here it is also mentioned as internal potency. So, what is it, that one thing that is Krishna is referring to, that internal potency through which there is covering?
You mean text
Elaboration.
25?
Text 25.
Yes. The, the term used here is Yoga Maya. Usually, there are two types of Maya, Yoga Maya and Maha Maya. Usually, when Krishna covers himself, he does so with the term Mahamaya. This is how the acharyas have explained. Mahamaya means the big Maya that makes one forget Krishna. And Yoga Maya usually is employed in relation to connecting, to bringing the souls closer to Krishna. But in this case, Krishna uses the term Yoga Maya. Actually, the Vaishnavacharyas have explained that Mahamaya is an expansion of Yoga Maya. So in that sense, when Krishna uses the term Yoga Maya, it's the internal potency. That means his own potency, and from Krishna's viewpoint, as we said before, it's one energy, it's the same energy, Yoga Maya. But then from our viewpoint, we may say it's Mahamaya because it's making us forget. So Krishna here uses the term Yoga Maya. Give me 1 second. I want to check. Well, I mean, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes example of the Ishopanishad when the devotee who prays, there is a verse, Hiram Mayena Patrena Satyasyapi Hitam Mukham Tatvam Pusham Apavrenu Satya Dharmaya Trishyate. That the devotee prays to Krishna, please remove the glaring effulgence, your radiance, which impedes me from seeing your lotus face, see your face. So that's the, let me just check 1 second. I want to check one thing. I have here the commentaries of previous acharyas also, Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur and Baladeva Vidyabhushana, just to see if they say something about the use of the term Yogamaya in that context. Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur writes, putting Krishna's words, I am not manifest to all people living at all times and places. I am always present with my associates, qualities and pastimes, in some universe at some time. But just as the sun is not visible to all people at all times, but only sometimes, since it gets covered by Mount Meru, I am also not visible at all times, being covered by Yogamaya. So that's one thing. And then he says, later on he writes, within Krishna's effulgent abodes, Yogamaya is always present, like Meru. Krishna, like the sun, covered by that Meru in the form of the Yogamaya, is not visible constantly, but only sometimes. So this is the explanation given by Sri Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur. And let us check what Sri Baladeva Vidyabhushana says. He writes, I, filled with eternal knowledge and bliss, endowed with infinitely auspicious qualities and activities, am visible to the devotees, but I am not visible to any of the non-devotees at all, because I am covered by Yogamaya, by Maya engaged in yoga, bewildering those who are opposed to me. And then in the commentary, this is His Holiness Panu Swami Maharaj's writing and footnote. Yoga means that means by which something becomes possible. Here, Yoga Maya means that energy by which bewilderment of the materialist takes place. In chapter 9, Baladeva defines yoga as that which makes the impossible possible in relation to the Lord's achintya powers. Thus, the word yoga maya can be used to indicate the material maya or the spiritual maya according to the context. So usually the material maya is named Mahamaya, but here Krishna uses the term Yoga Maya, because Mahamaya is an expansion of Yoga Maya anyway. So it's like if you have 1 million, what's the currency in Pakistan?
Rupees.
Rupee also. Rupee is like with Indian rupees, which is stronger, Indian rupee or Pakistan rupee? Same?
Indian rupees.
Indian rupees are stronger. Okay, anyway, imagine you get like many crores of Pakistan rupees. How many? Say you get whatever, 1,000 crores. Is that a lot of money? 1,000 crores of Pakistani rupees. Yes. So if you get 1,000 crores of Pakistani rupees, and then somebody comes with 1 crore, So that the 1,000 includes the 1 crore. Does that make sense? So Yoga Maya includes Mahamaya. Okay? Yes?
Yes, Maharaji. It's clear. And thank you so much for elaboration.
Krishna Priya?
Krishna Maharaji, I have some confusion in regard this. As you mentioned that Yoga Maya, it's kind of like the portion of internal potency we can say, because it's aspires devotees who are interested in spirituality, influences a devotee who aspires spiritual knowledge, and Mahamaya is external energy. So what is what is then that Devi Shakti, or we say that Ladini Shakti, what it comes like, it comes in internal potency or it is something else?
Yeah, Ladini Shakti is the best. You can say Ladini Shakti is the best part of internal potency. Srimati Radharani is the personified Ladini Shakti. So it's the best of the potencies of Krishna. And then, of course, this internal potency may manifest in many different categories or personalities. And therefore, the Upanishads state, Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Shrujati, that Krishna has multiple potencies. So these are subdivisions of this internal potency of Krishna. And Ladini Shakti is a pleasure-giving potency, so it's the most direct transcendental potency, which pleases Krishna the most. And therefore Krishna feels more attraction and for Srimati Radharani than for anyone else, because it is his original Ladini potency. Okay, there are
Thank you, Maharaj.
2 more questions on the chat. Ria is asking, if we say from our mouth just once, I am surrendering into you, Krishna, so it means we have surrendered, or surrendering is something else? Yeah, there is a famous verse found in Chaitanya Charitamrita that was spoken by Lord Ramachandra when Vibhishana, Ravana's brother, came to surrender unto Lord Ramachandra. And some of the generals in the monkey army, they were saying he is our enemy. They had different opinions. Some were saying he should be made a prisoner and we can exchange him for Sita Devi. And others were saying he should be killed, he's our enemy. There were different opinions. But then Lord Ramachandra said that Sakriteva Prapannoyas, this is the beginning of the verse, that if someone only once Sakrit surrenders Prapanna unto me, Tavasmitina Yachate, I will, that the person tells me, I am yours, my Lord. If only once that person sincerely says it, so it's not just saying, not just saying it with the mouth, it should be sincere. If a person from the heart says it, then Krishna takes it eternally. That this person has surrendered to me, and I will give that person protection and will give courage to that person. So should be sincere. It's not just say it with the mouth, it should be once to say it sincerely, from the heart, that you really mean it. then that one time is considered surrender. It's taken as an eternal statement by the Lord. Is that okay? Does that answer the question? Yes, okay. Good, thank you. Then how Krishna's full realization depends on his mercy and devotees' devotion. Yes, we will study more closely this in chapter 12, but we can say something now. Yes, we need the two. Srila Prabhupada gave the example that there is the ways of the monkey and the ways of the cat. And this is in relation to the monkey mother and the cat mother. Like the philosophy of the monkey is that you may have seen it, those of you who have been in Vrindavan, I don't know, in Pakistan you have monkeys also? No monkeys? You have some? So you may have seen that the baby monkey catches the belly of the mother, and the mother is jumping around, isn't it? And the baby has to cut himself to the mother. So that's one philosophy, and this will be the philosophy of the personal endeavor. And then there is the cat philosophy, will be like the mother cat takes with the mouth takes the kitten by the neck. I don't know if you have seen. So, and then the kitten doesn't do anything. It's carried by the mother and just is taken. So this is compared to Krishna's mercy. Srila Prabhupada said, our philosophy is both. So we do our endeavor to serve Krishna, and then Krishna gives the mercy. But from the two, the mercy, ultimately, it is up to the mercy of Krishna. From the two, mercy is most important. I was explaining 2 days ago in Barcelona, this topic came up, and then we gave an example I read in the autobiography of His Holiness Yadunandana Swami Maharaj, The Journey Home. Anyone has read that? It's very good, very, very nice autobiography. So he explained that before meeting Srila Prabhupada, he was living in the area of Rajamandala in Vrindavan. I think at that time he was staying in Barsana with one Baba and one saintly person, and spread the word that there was a tiger going around the area of Barsana, and that people should be careful because if tigers are hungry, they attack humans. Are there tigers in Pakistan? Yes? No? Some? Okay. Few tigers, but in the forest, I guess.
In the zoo, Maharaj.
In the zoo, okay. In the zoo, it's not dangerous because they are. His Holiness Bhaktiswarup Damodar Goswami Maharaj, he left this world some years back. He told me once when he came to Spain, told me that if you meet a tiger, you should look the tiger into the eyes without any fear. Then the tiger goes away. That's what he told me. They say you don't run. If you run, you're finished. You just look peacefully. You look. That's not so easy because the tiger have intense look in the eyes. but you look at them peacefully, you take shelter of Krishna and look at the eyes, and then the tiger may say, okay, I let this person go. He's not afraid of me. But anyway, if the tiger is too hungry, then it's dangerous. So then during the night, this Baba, Radhanath Maharaj at the time was named Richard. He had not yet met Srila Prabhupada and joined ISKCON. He liked Vrindavan. He was living the area of Vrindavan. He was staying with this Baba. And then he saw that the Baba took a stick like this size, something like this. Not too big. Like this, like a stick. And in the night, he put it next to the place where he was sleeping. They didn't have a door to close. It was like a cave or under some trees, wherever it was. And then the Radhanath Maharaj, Richard at the time, asked the Baba, what is this stick for? The Baba said, this is in case a tiger comes. And then but Richard said, but how come? How can you fight a tiger with a stick? It's such a small stick. There is no way you can defeat a tiger with a stick. And then the Baba said, yeah, that's okay, but we need to demonstrate Krishna that we do our share. So we do a little something, and then Krishna will protect us and take care of us. So this stick will be like our practice. Whatever practice we do is small compared to what is needed to go back home, back to Godhead. But Krishna is so kind that if we do our endeavor, Krishna will give us mercy and help us to go back to the spiritual world. Okay, it's time for ending. So we practically covered chapter 7. There are some concepts in the last 2 verses, but we will do next Monday. It's the next class. So just 1 second, I'll show what you need to prepare for the reading for the next days. You can prepare for verses 1 to 13 from chapter 8. This will be for Monday, and then Tuesday we will do the rest of chapter 8. Is that okay? Good. Did you say in Sindh, did you say ticket, like in India, or did you say ticket?
ठीक है महाराज, ठीक है.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Dhanva Pranam Maharaj.
Hare
Thank you very
Krishna
much.
Maharaj.
His Holiness
Hare
Yadunandana
Krishna.
Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
jai.
Maharaj.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Maveta
Hare
Gaura
Krishna.
Hare
Bhakti.
Krishna.
Jai.
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 Hare Krishna.